Learn English through story. The Forbidden Kiss of Desire. In the heart of San Francisco, where the fog rolled in like a silken curtain and the Golden Gate Bridge loomed majestically above the bay, lived Sarah, a 35-year-old art curator. She had devoted her life to her career, spending her days immersed in the world of contemporary art and her nights surrounded by friends in the vibrant city. Despite her accomplishments, Sarah felt an emptiness deep within her, a yearning for something more than the predictable cadence of her life. One crisp autumn afternoon, Sarah was organizing an upcoming gallery exhibition showcasing emerging artists. As she sifted through portfolios and attended meetings, her attention was caught by a particularly striking submission. The artist, a mysterious figure named Ethan, had submitted a series of paintings that captured raw, visceral emotions. Each piece seemed to pulsate with a longing that resonated within her. Intrigued, Sarah decided to track Ethan down. After some digging, she discovered that he was an artist who lived in a small studio in the Mission District, known for its eclectic vibe and colorful murals. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, Sarah arranged to meet him at a local coffee shop. She wasn't prepared for the way her heart raced at the prospect of meeting this enigmatic artist whose work had captivated her. The day of their meeting arrived, and Sarah sat at a small table in the cafe. Copyright. Her fingers wrapped nervously around a steaming cup of coffee. She scanned the room, her gaze flitting between the patrons, each lost in their own world. When Ethan answered, it was as if time slowed down. He was tall and lean, with tousled dark hair and a hint of scruff on his jaw. His presence commanded attention, and Sarah felt a thrill of anticipation wash over her. "Sarah?" he asked, a soft smile breaking across his face as he approached her. "Yes, Ethan," she replied, feeling her cheeks warm. As they settled into their conversation, Sarah was struck by Ethan's passion for art and life. He spoke with an intensity that drew her in, recounting the stories behind his paintings, the emotions that inspired him. She found herself laughing at his dry humor, their chemistry palpable as they exchanged ideas and visions for the upcoming exhibition. Their meeting stretched into hours, filled with laughter, stories, and an unspoken connection that hung in the air between them like a tangible force. As they parted ways, Ethan looked deeply into her eyes, and for a moment, Sarah felt as if they were the only two people in the bustling cafe. Copyright. "I'd love to continue this conversation," he said, his voice low. "How about dinner sometime?" Sarah's heart raced at the invitation. "I'd like that," she replied, her pulse quickening. In the days that followed, their meetings became more frequent. They shared meals, explored art galleries, and discussed their dreams. With each passing moment, Sarah felt a connection with Ethan that transcended the boundaries of friendship. It was intoxicating, a forbidden kiss of desire that she knew could complicate her life. Ethan was everything Sarah had been missing: a spontaneous, passionate, and unapologetically himself. He challenged her perceptions, encouraged her to embrace her own creativity, and brought a spark into her life that had long been extinguished. Yet, as their relationship deepened, Sarah felt a pang of guilt. She was still in a relationship with Tom, her steady but unexciting boyfriend of 5 years. Tom was kind and dependable, a successful architect who had built a comfortable life for them. But as time wore on, their relationship had become predictable, and Sarah often found herself longing for the thrill of something new, something more passionate. One evening, as Sarah prepared for a dinner with Tom, she caught a glimpse of herself in the mirror. The woman staring back at her looked weary, her eyes reflecting the conflict within. She couldn't ignore the feelings that had blossomed between her and Ethan. With a deep sigh, Sarah resolved to confront her feelings for Tom, knowing she couldn't keep living a lie. The dinner with Tom was filled with polite conversation and half-hearted smiles. As they sat across from each other at the dining table, Sarah felt an emotional distance that seemed to stretch for miles. Tom was discussing his recent project, but Sarah's mind was elsewhere, fixated on Ethan and the moments they had shared. "Are you even listening to me?" Tom asked, his brow furrowing. "Of course, I am," Sarah replied, forcing herself to focus. "It sounds great, Tom." He leaned back in his chair, disappointment etched across his face. "You've been distant lately. Is everything okay?" In that moment, Sarah knew she couldn't hold back any longer. "Tom, I've been thinking a lot about us," she began, her voice shaking slightly. "I feel like we've been drifting apart, and I don't know how to fix it." Tom's expression shifted from confusion to concern. "What do you mean? I thought we were doing well." "I don't know if I'm happy anymore," Sarah confessed, her heart racing. "I've met an artist, Ethan, and I can't ignore the feelings I have for him." Tom's face fell, hurt and disbelief washing over him. "You're serious?" "Yes," Sarah replied, tears welling in her eyes. "I care about you, but I can't keep pretending. I need to explore this." Tom stood up abruptly, pushing his chair back with a loud scrape. "I can't believe this, Sarah. After everything we've built together, I know it's unfair," she said, her voice trembling. "But I can't stay in a relationship out of obligation. I need to be true to myself." Tom stormed out of the room, leaving Sarah alone with her racing thoughts. She felt a mixture of relief and heartbreak, knowing that she had made the right decision yet mourning the end of their relationship. The next day, Sarah reached out to Ethan, desperate to see him. They arranged to meet at the same cafe copyright where they had first connected, and as she walked in, her heart raced with anticipation. Ethan was already there, sketching in a small notebook. His face lit up when he saw her, and for a moment, all her worries faded away. "Hey, you," he said, closing the notebook and setting it aside. "How have you been?" "I had a tough night," she admitted, taking a seat across from him. "I broke up with Tom." Ethan's expression shifted to one of concern. "I'm sorry, that must have been hard." "It was," Sarah replied, her voice shaky. "But I needed to be honest with myself. I can't ignore what I feel for you anymore." Ethan reached across the table, his hand brushing against hers. "You don't have to apologize for following your heart, Sarah. It's brave of you." The warmth of his touch sent a thrill through her, and Sarah felt a rush of desire swell within her. They talked for hours, sharing their hopes and dreams, and as the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the cafe copyright, Sarah leaned in closer to Ethan. "What are you thinking?" he asked, his voice low and inviting. "I want to kiss you," she replied, her heart racing with both excitement and fear. "Then do it," he urged softly, his gaze intense, with a mix of nervousness and anticipation. Sarah leaned across the table and pressed her lips against his. It was a kiss filled with passion, igniting a fire within her that she had never experienced before. It was forbidden, exhilarating, and utterly intoxicating. As they pulled away, Sarah felt breathless, her heart pounding wildly in her chest. In that moment, she knew she had stepped onto a path from which there was no turning back. Over the following weeks, their relationship blossomed into a passionate romance. They explored the city together, wandering through art galleries and hidden alleyways, stealing kisses in the shadows and sharing whispered secrets beneath the stars. Every moment with Ethan felt like a revelation, a reminder of the beauty of living authentically. But as their love deepened, so did the complications. Sarah found herself grappling with feelings of guilt regarding Tom and the life they had shared. Though she had made the right choice, the weight of her decision hung heavy on her heart. One evening, as they lay entwined in Ethan's studio. Surrounded by canvases and paints, Sarah found herself lost in thought. "Ethan," she began hesitantly. "What are we doing?" He looked at her, his expression serious. "We're living, Sarah. We're exploring our desires and passions. Isn't that what we both want?" "But what about the consequences?" she asked, her heart racing. "I just ended a long-term relationship. What if this is just a fling?" Ethan propped himself up on one elbow, his eyes searching hers. "You can't live your life in fear of what might happen. We deserve to explore this connection." "I know. But it's also new," Sarah admitted, biting her lip. "I don't want to hurt anyone, including you." "Sarah, life is messy," he said gently, "but it's also beautiful. We can't let fear dictate our happiness." His words resonated within her, and she knew he was right. For too long, she had put others' needs before her own, and now, with Ethan, she felt a sense of freedom she hadn't experienced in years. As the days turned into weeks, Sarah embraced the whirlwind of emotions that came with her relationship with Ethan. They continued to create together, drawing inspiration from each other and pouring their souls into their art. Sarah began to feel alive in ways she had never imagined, her creativity flourishing as she explored her newfound passion. Yet, the guilt lingered like a shadow, reminding her of Tom and the life they had built together. One evening, as she walked through a local park with Ethan, the weight of her emotions became too much to bear. "Ethan, I need to talk to you," she said, stopping under the canopy of trees. "Of course." "What's on your mind?" he asked, concern etching his features. "I've been thinking about Tom," she admitted, her voice trembling. "I can't shake the guilt of how everything ended. I don't want to be the person who hurts others for my own happiness." Ethan took a step closer, his expression softening. "You're not hurting anyone by being true to yourself, Sarah. You deserve to find happiness." "But what if I'm making a mistake?" she questioned, tears welling in her eyes. "What if this isn't real?" He cupped her face in his hands, his touch gentle and reassuring. "You won't know unless you embrace it. Love is about taking risks, and you've already taken the biggest step by leaving Tom. Trust yourself." In that moment, Sarah felt the weight of her fears begin to lift. She realized that life was about embracing the unknown, and she had chosen to follow her heart. With Ethan by her side, she felt a sense of freedom that was intoxicating, a chance to explore love in its purest form. As the seasons changed and the city transformed, Sarah and Ethan's relationship continued to deepen. They found themselves wrapped in a world of passion and creativity, their love a dance of desire that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. Yet, amidst the beauty, Sarah couldn't shake the lingering sense of unease regarding her past. One evening, as they sat in a cozy bar listening to live music, Sarah felt the tension in the air. "Ethan," she began, her voice soft, "I want to be honest with you." "About what?" he asked, leaning in closer. "I've been avoiding reaching out to Tom. I need to face him, to give him closure," she admitted, her heart racing. Ethan nodded, his expression understanding. "You owe it to yourself and to him. It's part of moving forward." "I know," Sarah said, feeling a mixture of relief and anxiety, "but I'm scared. I don't want to hurt him more than I already have." "You're not responsible for his feelings. You're doing this for you," Ethan replied, his voice steady. "I'll support you no matter what." The following week, Sarah found herself standing outside Tom's apartment, her heart pounding in her chest. She had rehearsed this conversation countless times, but now that the moment had arrived, uncertainty gripped her. Taking a deep breath, she rang the doorbell, her hands clammy with nerves. Tom answered the door, his expression a mixture of surprise and wariness. "Sarah, I didn't expect to see you. Can we talk?" she asked. Stepping inside, they sat on the couch, the air thick with unspoken words. "I wanted to check in and see how you're doing," Sarah began, her voice shaky. "I know things ended abruptly, and I'm sorry for that." Tom's gaze was piercing. "It's been hard. I didn't see it coming. I thought we were happy." "I thought we were too," Sarah admitted, her heart heavy. "But I realized I wasn't being true to myself. I met someone who challenged me and made me feel alive again." "Ethan?" Tom asked, bitterness creeping into his voice. "Yes," she confessed, tears welling in her eyes. "I didn't want to hurt you, but I needed to be honest." Tom's expression softened, but pain lingered in his eyes. "You deserve to be happy, Sarah. I just wish it didn't have to hurt so much. I wish I could take away the pain," she said, her heart aching for him. "But I couldn't keep living a lie." They talked for what felt like hours, navigating the complex emotions that surrounded their breakup. As they parted ways, Sarah felt a weight lift from her shoulders. She had faced her past, and in doing so, she had taken another step toward embracing her future. Returning to Ethan felt like coming home. They spent the evening wrapped in each other's arms, a sense of peace settling between them. "How did it go?" Ethan asked, concern etched across his face. "It was hard, but I needed to do it," Sarah replied, her heart swelling with gratitude for his support. "I feel lighter now." Ethan pulled her closer, his warmth enveloping her. "I'm proud of you, Sarah. You're incredibly brave." As the weeks turned into months, their love flourished, becoming a tapestry of shared experiences and whispered dreams. They attended art exhibitions, explored the city's hidden gems, and spent lazy Sundays painting together, their connection deepening with each brushstroke. Yet, as their relationship grew stronger, Sarah found herself grappling with a new reality. She had never been the type to rush into things, but with Ethan, everything felt urgent and alive. The passion they shared was intoxicating, but it also brought a sense of uncertainty. One evening, as they lounged on the couch, watching a movie, Sarah's mind drifted to the future. "Ethan," she began, her voice hesitant, "where do you see this going?" He turned to her, his gaze thoughtful. "I see us building something beautiful together, something real." "But what if it's too soon?" Sarah questioned, her heart racing. "I've just come out of a long relationship. What if we're just caught up in the moment?" Ethan took her hand, his grip firm and reassuring. "We can take our time, there's no rush. I just want to be with you." Sarah felt a swell of emotion at his words. In that moment, she realized that love wasn't just about passion, it was about companionship, trust, and shared dreams. They spent the evening talking about their hopes for the future, weaving their desires into a shared narrative that felt both thrilling and grounded. As summer turned to fall, Sarah embraced the love she had found in Ethan. She was no longer just an art curator, she was a woman who had reclaimed her identity, pursuing her passion for life and love. Together, they painted their world with vibrant hues, each stroke representing their journey. One evening, as they walked along the waterfront, the sun setting behind the city, Sarah took a deep breath, the salty air filling her lungs. "Ethan, thank you for being patient with me. You've helped me discover a part of myself I thought I'd lost." Ethan stopped and turned to her, his expression sincere. "You've done the hard work, Sarah. You chose to follow your heart, and that's incredibly powerful." As they stood there, surrounded by the beauty of the city, Sarah felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. She had embraced the forbidden kiss of desire, allowing it to guide her toward a life filled with authenticity and love. With Ethan by her side, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that they would navigate them together. The kiss that had ignited their passion was no longer a mere whisper of desire, it had become the foundation of a love that promised to endure. and as they shared a kiss under the fading light, Sarah felt the warmth of possibility wrapping around her like a soft embrace. Knowing that this was just the beginning of their beautiful journey together. In the weeks and months that followed, Sarah and Ethan continued to grow, both individually and as a couple. They faced challenges, celebrated victories, and explored the depth of their creativity, weaving their lives together in a tapestry of love and passion. The kiss that had once felt forbidden now symbolized their commitment to each other, a promise to embrace their desires and face the world hand in hand. As Sarah looked toward the future, she felt a sense of excitement and hope. She had finally learned to embrace the beauty of life, to chase her passions fearlessly, and to love unapologetically. With Ethan, she had found her partner in every sense of the word, a man who encouraged her to reach for the stars and reminded her of the importance of following her heart. The forbidden kiss of desire had transformed into a love story filled with adventure, growth, and the promise of a future that was theirs to create. And as they painted their lives together, each brush stroke was a testament to their journey, a beautiful reminder that sometimes, the most profound connections arise from the moments we dare to embrace our deepest desires. As they stood hand in hand, overlooking the city they both loved, Sarah knew that her journey was just beginning, and she was ready to embrace every moment, every kiss, and every heartbeat that life had to offer. Together, they would continue to write their love story, one breathtaking chapter at a time. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.